Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take a stack of your sources, could be articles, research, maybe even your own notes, and we really dig in to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge or insight.
Yeah, get right to the heart of it.
Exactly. And today we're embarking on a deep dive into something I think is incredibly relatable for, well, probably most of us. And frankly, a little frustrating too, how we actually spend our evenings.
Oh, definitely relatable. That post-work, post-school time.
Right. This particular deep dive, it's based on a really compelling mix. We've got behavioral science research, insights from productivity experts, and also this really profound YouTube video transcript focused on personal growth and specifically time management after work.
A good blend of sources then.
Yeah.
Practical and maybe a bit theoretical too.
I think so, because for so many of us, those hours after work or school, they just feel like a foggy blur, don't they?
They just disappear.
Yeah, they disappear without much to really show for them. And we have these aspirations, right? Maybe you want to learn a new language like English, maybe start a hobby, or maybe just feel more refreshed for the next day.
Sure, those good intentions are always there.
But somehow our evenings seem to actively work against us. It feels that way sometimes.
So what's the actual problem here? Is it just that we don't have enough time? Or is it something maybe deeper about how we approach those hours?
Yeah, how we design them, perhaps, or fail to design them.
Exactly, how we design or fail to design those really precious post-work hours. So today our mission really is to unpack the subtle ways, often kind of invisible ways, our evenings get. Well, hijacked is the word the sources use.
Hijacked, okay, that's a strong word.
It is, but it feels apt sometimes. And more importantly, we want to discover practical, actually powerful strategies to reclaim them, to turn them from potentially wasted time into a genuine foundation for our future.
From foggy blur to solid foundation. I like that. Yeah. And consider this idea because I think it really shifts your perspective. Your 9 to 5 earns your living, but your 5 to 9 builds your future.
That's potent. Because those evening hours, they're kind of the only ones we truly control, aren't they?
Arguably, yes. Free from the direct demands of, employers or teachers. This deep dive is going to explore exactly that, how those often overlooked evening hours are this unique space.
And how maybe just grabbing even a small part of them back.
Exactly. How harnessing even a small, intentional portion of them can utterly change the direction of your life, making you not just, say, more productive, but maybe more profoundly at peace, too.
Peace is a big part of it, I think. Not just about cramming more in.
Absolutely. It's about taking back what's your peace, your potential, your power over your own time.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's unpack this universal experience. We all feel it, I think, but maybe we don't say it out loud much. Most of us probably aren't spending our evenings the way we truly want to.
The intention versus the reality?
Right. You come home from work or from school, your mind's still buzzing from the day, maybe your body's a bit tired, and what's the very first thing you reach for?
Let me guess. The phone.
Often, yeah. Or maybe a bag of chips. Or that comforting thought of just one more episode of whatever you're watching.
The path of least resistance, usually.
And you tell yourself, I deserve a break, which you absolutely do, no question. But then, poof, an entire evening just vanishes into that familiar pattern.
And the sources call this that foggy blur, right?
Exactly, the foggy blur. It might feel relaxing right in that moment, but often when you look back, it leaves you with this surprising sense of disappointment, or maybe even like mild regret about where the hours actually went.
Yeah, like what did I do? Nothing really stands out.
It's this silent, almost imperceptible slipping away of time. And it's way more common than you might think.
And what's really fascinating, as you said, is how universal it is across different cultures, different jobs, different ages. It's not just you.
Right. It's not about personal willpower, which is what we tend to blame ourselves for, isn't it? Oh, I just lack discipline.
Exactly. We internalize it as a personal failing. But this raises that crucial question the sources dig into. Why do our evenings vanish like this?
Yeah, why?
And the core insight seems to be, it isn't always a lack of time. We might feel like we lack time, but often it's about the quality and the intentionality of how we spend the time we do have.
Quality and intentionality, okay.
So that foggy blur evening, while it seems relaxing on the surface, it often masks this deeper state of just passive consumption. We think we're recharging.
And we're not, really.
Well, our brains are actually still very much engaged, just in a different way, often a less fulfilling way. And this distinction between genuine restorative rest and just distraction, that's vital.
Okay, so watching TV isn't necessarily resting the brain.
Not in the same way as, say, quiet contemplation or maybe gentle movement.
Wow.
It's why we can feel so drained even after we've supposedly relaxed all evening. What feels like unwinding might actually be just another drain on our mental and emotional reserves.
Wow. Okay. And this is where it gets. Well, the sources paint a pretty stark picture about our digital habits.
Ah, the digital side, of course.
It's this powerful insight, one I think many of us feel deep down but maybe haven't articulated. These social media platforms, the streaming services, the engineers behind them aren't just passively offering entertainment.
No, it's much more active than that.
It's incredibly active. They are meticulously, strategically designing these platforms to capture and hold your attention for as long as humanly possible.
They don't just want a few minutes of your time.
They want your entire evening, every swipe, every notification ping, every video suggestion that pops up next, that autoplay countdown. None of it is random.
It's all engineered?
Completely. The sources call it a trapdoor built right into your daily routine, and it's shockingly effective, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You just intend to quickly check one thing,
Yeah, just a quick look.
and boom, you've tumbled through that trapdoor, and suddenly hours have just vanished
Yeah.
into the digital ether, as they say.
It's gone, and you don't even know where it went.
And if we broaden that view, like the sources do, it's not just social media, is it? Streaming platforms are absolute masters of this.
The just one more episode syndrome?
Exactly. They use what behavioral scientists call the craving loop. They skillfully manipulate those reward pathways in our brains. Think about it. The show ends on a massive cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah. You have to know what happens next.
Or it immediately starts counting down. Next episode starting in 5-4. It taps into that primal human desire for completion, for novelty. It compels you, almost against your conscious will, to watch just one more episode, even when you know you're tired.
And suddenly it's 1 a.m., you have to be up in 5 hours, and you barely remember the last 3 episodes you watched.
Precisely. You only remember that you couldn't stop. And this constant, often unchosen engagement, it leaves you feeling physically and emotionally drained. Your brain, it wasn't resting. It was still churning, processing information, seeking that next little digital hit.
The sources actually call it engineered addiction, don't they? Not just entertainment.
They do. Engineered addiction. It's not genuine entertainment in the sense of fulfilling engagement, nor is it restorative rest. It's a system carefully built to maximize your screen time, playing on our basic human psychology.
And the really sneaky part is, we often mistake that constant stimulation for actual relaxation.
Yes, that's the critical confusion. Our minds are still working, processing, and definitely not getting that deep restorative downtime they desperately need, which is why so often you wake up tired, even after what felt like hours of relaxing on the couch.
It's not just physical tiredness, it's mental, emotional, too.
Completely.
And have you ever noticed how utterly, effortlessly you fall into this? That quick check-in turning into hours of just mindless scrolling. And afterwards, you feel, I don't know, emptier. Maybe even a bit anxious or regretful. Definitely not refreshed.
It's such a common feeling. It really sabotages our best intentions for the evening, doesn't it? Quietly, in the background.
Yeah, and it's happening to millions of us all over the world. The key takeaway here, I think, from the sources is recognizing it for what it is.
Which is?
Not a personal failing, not your lack of willpower, but a powerful, incredibly sophisticated system that's deliberately designed to consume your most valuable, non-renewable resource, your time and your attention.
Right. Understanding that you're not alone in this struggle is huge. It's
Yeah.
a shared challenge in our, digitally saturated world.
Okay, so if our evenings are being subtly hijacked like this, what does that actually mean for us? What can we do?
Well, there's good news here, which is always nice to hear.
Yes, please.
The sources offer this really hopeful insight. If something, like our digital environment, can be engineered or designed to waste your time,
Then?
then it can also be redesigned, reclaimed,
Yeah.
engineered to protect your time.
Okay, redesigning our evenings? I like the sound of that. Does it mean becoming like a productivity monk?
No.
Setting 1,000 alarms?
No, not at all. That's often unsustainable. It doesn't mean adopting some super rigid, inflexible schedule that feels totally unnatural. It starts with something surprisingly simple.
Simple is good.
A simple yet profoundly powerful habit, one that gives you back that crucial sense of agency, of control over those post-work hours.
All right, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Well, it raises that important question first. How do we actually shift? How do we go from being passive consumers, just reacting to whatever pops up, to being active, intentional designers of our time?
Okay, the shift from passive to active.
Exactly. And the sources suggest this foundational step. It's surprisingly effective. Simply naming your evening or parts of your evening.
Naming my evening, what does that mean? Like Tuesday night.
No, more specific than that. Instead of that vague, almost apologetic thought like, oh, I'll just chill for a bit, or I'll just see what happens tonight.
Which usually means scrolling or zoning out.
Often, yes. Instead, it's about being specific and purposeful. You might actually declare, maybe just to yourself, okay, from 7 to 8 p.m., this is my recharge hour. And you define what recharge truly means for you.
Okay, like reading or gentle stretching, not just scrolling.
Exactly. Or maybe from 8 to 9 p.m., this is my learning and movement time. You assign a deliberate, conscious purpose to specific blocks of your evening.
So it's not about filling every single minute.
Not at all. It's not about productivity pressure. It's about transforming those hours from this vague, undefined void into structured opportunities for what you genuinely want to do or feel or become.
It's about being mindful, intentional with how you use that time and energy.
Precisely. It builds this crucial framework for self-direction. It's like setting a destination before you start driving.
That makes so much sense. Giving time a name really does give it purpose, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Feels like reclaiming territory. Territory you didn't even realize you'd lost to just the fog. It's like drawing a clear boundary line around your peace, your focus, your well-being.
It's a powerful act. It's choosing how you want to use your time instead of letting it be swept away by algorithms or just old, unconscious habits.
So when you name an hour, you're not just labeling it, you're giving it meaning. Setting an intention, creating an expectation for yourself.
Yes. And the psychological impact of that is fascinating. This simple act of, let's call it, placement of intention, it suddenly makes you acutely aware.
Aware of what?
Aware of how much of your evening might have been silently just vanished or been hijacked, as the sources say, without your real permission.
Right, you start noticing the drift more.
Exactly. It lets you become an active participant in designing your evening instead of just being a passive observer carried along by the current. You notice those moments where you might normally default to mindless scrolling.
And you have a choice.
You have a choice. You have the awareness and the intention to redirect that energy towards your chosen named activity. It's about setting clear, firm, but maybe flexible boundaries for your time and energy. Like drawing that border on a map, this is my space, my time.
That awareness feels like the critical first step, taking back control, making sure those hours align with your values, your goals, who you want to be.
It's a quiet but really powerful rebellion against that foggy blur of wasted time.
Okay, so a practical challenge for everyone listening. Try this tonight. Think about one specific hour, maybe right after dinner or just before bed, that usually just kind of evaporates.
That hour you feel you consistently lose.
Yeah. How would you name that hour? What deliberate purpose could you give it? Maybe from 8 to 9 p.m., I focus on my English practice. Make it dedicated learning time.
Or from 7 to 8 p.m., I engage in restorative movement or mindful activity.
Just giving it that name starts to change how you see it, right? It creates that guiding intention, moving from default mode to design mode.
Default to design. That's a great way to put it.
Now, another huge point the sources make. We often blame ourselves, don't we? For lack of focus, lack of motivation. I'm just lazy or I can't concentrate. We think it's an internal failing.
Oh, constantly. The self-blame cycle.
But the sources highlight this crucial external factor, something that often speaks louder than our best intentions or goals.
And that is?
Your environment, your physical space.
The space around us. Okay.
It's not just the apps or the TV shows, it's your whole room. The layout, the lighting, the sounds, what's within easy reach. Everything around you is silently but powerfully influencing what happens next.
Right. The sources probably give examples, like trying to focus on something important.
Exactly. Like trying to focus on personal growth, maybe learn English, with your laptop balanced precariously on your bed, the TV blaring right in front of you, your phone buzzing every 2 minutes beside you.
And then wondering why you couldn't focus.
Of course. The space itself was basically wired for distraction. It made the thing you wanted to do an uphill battle from the start.
Yeah. Connecting this to behavioral psychology. It's often not your brain that's the main problem. It's the environment you've created, maybe unconsciously, around yourself.
So it's the setup.
It's largely the setup. Think about it. If your phone is the very first thing you see when you walk in the door after work, or the first thing your hand touches on the nightstand.
That's what your mind grabs onto.
Instantly. It's an immediate unconscious pull, a default action. But imagine, like the sources suggest, a different setup. What if your journal is right there on the coffee table, open?
Inviting you to write.
Or your sketch pad is out, with pencils ready? Or that English textbook you keep meaning to open is sitting invitingly on your desk, not hidden in a drawer?
Suddenly a different version of you is more likely to show up.
Precisely. The environment, through these subtle visual and physical cues, gives you a powerful nudge. It influences your behavior without you even needing strong willpower. It's that concept of placement driving action.
So your space can be your biggest ally.
Or your biggest saboteur. Gently guiding you towards your goals or constantly nudging you towards distraction. It's about designing your space to make the good stuff the path of least resistance.
I love that supermarket analogy the sources use. It's so clear.
Oh yeah, the checkout lane candy bars.
Exactly. Supermarkets put candy, gum, magazines right there at the checkout. Why? Because they know placement drives action. It's an impulse buy zone.
If it's visible, easy, requires no effort, you're way more likely to grab it.
So the big question is, why don't we use that same smart strategy in our own homes, but for our own benefit?
Good question. We design our homes for comfort, maybe aesthetics, but rarely for intentional behavior.
Right. So you want to read more, don't bury the book on a shelf, leave your current read open invitingly on the sofa or your bedside table.
Make it obvious, easy to pick up.
Want to stretch or do some yoga, don't make yourself haul the mat out of the closet every time, lay it out before dinner, it's just there. A silent invitation.
Let your space invite and encourage the behavior you want instead of waiting for motivation to magically appear.
Okay, so this leads to that critical question for everyone listening right now. What specific things in your current evening environment might be actively contributing to you feeling exhausted or constantly zoning out?
Take an honest look around.
Yeah, and the advice from the sources is super practical, immediately actionable. Just identify and remove one thing, just one thing from your evening space that consistently drains you or pulls you into distraction.
Could be the remote control always being on the armrest, maybe.
Could be, and then conversely, add one thing that genuinely lifts you or encourages something you want to do more of.
So remove one negative, add one positive cue.
Exactly. And this isn't just redecorating for looks, it's strategically transforming your environment. Maybe it is moving the phone charger out of the bedroom into the kitchen. Creates that little bit of friction for late night scrolling.
Makes you think twice.
And at the same time, maybe you put your English flashcards or a really interesting book right on your nightstand where the phone used to be.
Replacing the trigger.
Yes. Once your space stops actively working against you, stops nudging you towards those unwanted habits, the good habits start to flow more naturally, almost effortlessly, without needing constant willpower.
You're not fighting your surroundings anymore. Your environment becomes this silent partner, gently guiding you towards, say, building that English fluency or whatever your goal is.
That subtle shift in the physical space makes a huge difference in how easy it is to stick with things.
Monumental, often.
So, reflecting on your own space right now, what's one single thing in your immediate environment you could move or remove tonight to make it instantly more supportive, more intentional?
Think about that first point of contact when you settle in for the evening.
Is it an unconscious invitation to distraction? Or could it be a deliberate invitation to growth or peace or learning? Even one tiny change can ripple through your whole evening.
Small hinges swing big doors.
Okay, so now your space is aligned, it's helping you, supporting your intentions. Now is the perfect time, according to the sources, to bring in the secret weapon.
Ooh, a secret weapon. I like it.
The art of making good habits incredibly obvious and making bad habits, well, almost invisible.
Habit design. Making good easy, bad hard.
Precisely. This isn't just about discipline. It's about consciously, intelligently designing your future behavior. Creating those subtle but effective barriers for stuff you want to avoid and removing all the friction for things you want to embrace.
And engineering your choices ahead of time.
Yes, you got it.
And what's really key here, from that behavioral science angle, is this powerful concept of friction.
Friction, tell me more.
Habit experts, across psychology, productivity, they all emphasize this. The huge impact of making undesirable actions just a tiny bit harder.
Just a little bit.
Even just a little bit. And at the same time, making the desirable actions so incredibly easy, so frictionless, that your future self basically sighs with relief and says, oh, thank goodness I set that up.
Huh. Okay, making it easy on future you.
Exactly. Now, sometimes this can sound a bit extreme, maybe even manipulative, but the examples really show how effective it is. Why? Because it leverages our natural human tendency, we lean towards the path of least resistance.
We're wired for efficiency, right? Conserve energy.
Totally. So if a positive action needs almost zero effort, cognitively or physically, you are way, way more likely to actually do it. And conversely, if a negative habit requires even a tiny bit more effort,
You might just skip it.
surprisingly often, yes, you just think, ugh, too much hassle.
Hmm.
It's about proactively designing your choices. So the default option is the one that serves your best self, your long-term goals.
Okay, the sources had some pretty wild examples of this, didn't they?
They did. Like
Yeah.
the person who literally uninstalled Instagram every single evening at 6 p.m.
Wow, every night. That sounds intense.
Right. It required a conscious choice, a few taps to reinstall it the next day if they needed it.
Hmm.
But at night, that sheer friction of having to go through the reinstall process, it just made it not worth the energy suck.
That's actually brilliant. Leveraging laziness for good.
Totally. And then there was the person who moved their phone charger out of the bedroom all the way to the kitchen.
I heard of people doing that. Does it work?
Apparently. So now, if they get the urge to scroll in bed, they physically have to get up, walk downstairs, get the phone. They don't say they never scroll anymore, but way less often. Because suddenly, their own laziness is working for them.
These aren't just random rules, they're strategic design choices, using psychology on yourself.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture for personal growth, it's all about making deliberate choices about convenience. What's easy, what's hard in your life.
And it's not just about making bad things harder, right?
Crucially, no. The sources really emphasize the positive side, too. Don't just remove the bad, amplify the good. Make the good stuff incredibly obvious.
Like the drawing tablet example.
Yes, leaving a drawing tablet or your journal or your English workbook right out on the table, open, ready, inviting.
So you don't even have to decide what to do. It's just
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
waiting.
Exactly. It's making the desired action obvious and adding friction only to the undesirable. It's proactive self-respect, really. You're setting yourself up for success.
You bypass that decision fatigue that often just leads you back to the easiest but maybe least fulfilling habit.
You're paving the road for your future self, making it easy to do the things that actually grow you, give you peace, help you learn English, whatever it is.
Okay, so thinking practically again. What's one specific bad habit you could make just a little bit harder tonight? Introduce some friction.
Maybe logging out of your streaming service so you have to type the password.
Good one. And conversely, what's one good habit you could make instantly, unmistakably obvious?
Putting your running shoes right by the door. Laying out your study materials before you even eat dinner.
Like putting your English workbook right on your pillow so it's the first thing you see before you even think about grabbing your phone.
Love that. Even these seemingly small tweaks to friction and obviousness, they can genuinely change the whole direction of your evening and, cumulatively, your future.
It's powerful stuff. Okay, next big idea. Winding down.
Ah, the end of the day. Crucial.
So many of us, and I think I do this too, we confuse winding down with just zoning out.
What's the difference according to the sources?
Well, lying on the couch, endlessly scrolling social media or watching random YouTube videos, it feels like relaxing maybe, like unwinding.
Yeah, it feels passive, low effort.
But the sources make this critical distinction that's actually fading out, not winding down. There's no real closure in it. It's like falling asleep mid-conversation without saying goodbye. The day just sort of dissolves into the next one.
Leaving this feeling of incompleteness,
Yeah,
unresolved tension maybe.
exactly. There's no clear boundary marker between the active day and the attempt to rest.
And this insight leads to that important question about what true restorative rest actually means for our brains, our emotions.
Right. What does the brain need?
Closure. Fundamentally, your brain needs closure. Without some kind of deliberate, intentional closing ritual, your mind stays in that state of high alert.
Still spinning.
Still spinning, processing, replaying the day's events, the worries, even while your body is trying to sleep, which is a big reason why we often wake up tired.
Not just physically tired, but mentally, emotionally drained.
Absolutely. The tension, the thoughts from yesterday,
Hmm.
they never got properly processed and filed away. Your brain is still waiting for that clear off signal, that punctuation mark at the end of the day's sentence. That never comes.
And this lack of a clear ending prevents real mental decompression, affects sleep.
Profoundly. It disrupts sleep quality and definitely impacts your energy and mood the next day.
Okay, so we need a closing ritual. Sounds like another task to add to the list.
But that's the beauty of it. The sources emphasize it's not about adding another burdensome task. It's about adding meaning, intentionality.
Meaning not just another to-do.
Right. And these rituals can be incredibly small, simple, but consistent. And that consistency makes a huge difference in signaling to your brain and your whole nervous system. Okay, the demanding part of the day is done now.
What kind of things count as a ritual?
Could be anything, really. As simple as lighting a specific candle, taking just 5 minutes to jot down 3 thoughts from the day in a journal, putting on a specific playlist of calming music only at that time.
Or even just taking a shower, maybe in dimmer lighting.
Absolutely. These seemingly tiny acts are powerful psychological cues. They literally tell your nervous system, we're finished, you're safe, you can let go now.
Creating that boundary, that clear, comforting end to the active day, paving the way for real peace and sleep.
Yes. And what's really cool is how the repetition, the consistency of these small intentional acts turns into this powerful habit.
A habit that helps you sleep better.
Yes, but more than that. It's a habit that helps you heal, helps you genuinely recharge. Think of your closing ritual, like that essential punctuation mark at the end of the day's sentence. A period, not an ellipsis trailing off into worry.
Okay, a period.
Mhm.
I like that visual. Creating space for peace, not just more processing.
Exactly. One person in the source material had a simple ritual, a specific playlist, just soft guitar, ambient sounds that they only played at night. The second they hit play, their body and mind just knew. Time to let go. That's the power of consistency and association.
Honoring that need for transition, for calm, allowing yourself to disengage.
It's a gentle but incredibly powerful act of self-care, self-compassion, really.
So, thinking about tonight, what small, consistent ritual could you introduce? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, something to signal to your brain the day is truly unequivocally done.
Maybe deliberately putting away work stuff, closing the laptop with intention, turning off bright overhead lights, opting for softer lamps.
Or just taking 3 deep, conscious breaths and acknowledging, okay, day's end.
Even that. Those brief, intentional moments can totally transform the feeling of your evening, from frantic, maybe, to tranquil.
Okay, this brings us to the final point from the sources. And they say for many people, this one really changed everything.
The final piece of the puzzle.
Maybe so. It's about how we end the day mentally. How often do you find yourself lying in bed, lights out, but your mind is racing through a list?
Oh, yeah. The didn't-do list.
Exactly. Didn't reply to that email, didn't finish everything on my to-do list, didn't work out today. It's this relentless cycle, right?
And you fall asleep feeling like a failure or incomplete somehow, even if you actually did a lot.
It's so common, but that self-critical inner monologue is just incredibly damaging.
And if we connect that to well-being, that relentless pressure we put on ourselves, always do more, always be, it just ruins rest. It completely undermines it.
You can't feel proud and guilty at the same time.
Exactly. They're incompatible emotional states.
Mm-hmm.
And we often have this mistaken idea that pride has to come from these huge achievements, big projects, public recognition.
Yeah, like you only get to feel good if you climbed a mountain.
Right. But the sources powerfully emphasize the significance of what they call the quiet victories.
Quiet victories, I like that.
The problem is, we might achieve a lot, but we stop ourselves feeling proud because we judge the whole day by what was left undone, instead of acknowledging what we did carry through, no matter how small.
That constant self-judgment, chasing some mythical, perfectly productive day, it's exhausting.
Emotionally, cognitively draining. And it actively stops us from truly resting and recharging. It's about shifting from that deficit mindset, what's lacking, to recognizing and appreciating what was done. An abundance mindset, maybe.
So how do we make that shift?
This is where that surprisingly simple but really powerful question comes in. A question to ask yourself before sleep.
Okay, what is it?
What did I do today that honored me?
Honored me, not what did I achieve or what did I produce?
Exactly. It's not about conventional productivity or external validation. Sometimes the answer is really small, but significant. Like, I didn't check my work email after dinner tonight. That honored your need for downtime.
Or I cooked something fresh for myself instead of ordering takeout. That honored your health.
Or, I spent 15 minutes listening to this deep dive in English, actively engaging instead of scrolling. That honored your desire to learn and grow.
That one question helps you consciously end the day with self-trust, self-respect, instead of self-criticism.
Yes, self-compassion too. It redirects your focus from the endless didn't-do list to those quiet, powerful acts of self-care and growth that truly serve your well-being.
It reframes the whole day.
It really does. And it raises that vital question. How do we redefine success for our evenings. For a whole day, really.
Success isn't just ticking boxes.
No. The quiet victory is saying no when it was hard but necessary, stopping at one episode instead of binging, choosing to stretch instead of scroll. Those are the real wins. They build your identity.
They're acts of self-honor even if nobody else sees them.
Exactly. They're personal commitments that whisper to your inner self, I show up for me. I prioritize my well-being, my growth. And this shift from external pressure to internal pride in these self-honoring actions, it changes everything.
How you sleep, how you wake up.
How you sleep, how you wake up, how you live. It fosters this invaluable sense of inner validation, peace. It lets you close your day feeling genuinely accomplished and worthy, not dwelling on shortcomings. A much healthier relationship with yourself and your time.
Okay, so tonight, before bed, instead of letting your mind run wild with that draining didn't-do list,
Pause. Breathe.
consciously, kindly, ask yourself, what did I do today that truly honored me? Give yourself permission to end the day with kindness, with self-compassion, with that quiet sense of accomplishment.
It could be practicing English for 20 minutes. It could be choosing to turn off screens an hour before bed. Small acts.
Remember, small, consistent acts of self-honor, day after day, they build this profound, unshakable foundation of self-respect over time.
Absolutely.
So let's recap quickly. We've explored today how reclaiming your evenings, even just 20 intentional minutes, can be this really profound act of self-improvement, self-liberation.
It starts with recognizing how easily our time gets hijacked, often by design.
Then moving to intentionally naming our hours, giving them purpose. Redesigning our physical space so it helps, not hinders.
Making good habits obvious and easy, bad habits invisible or harder, using friction.
Creating those meaningful closing rituals to signal peace and rest to our brains.
And finally, ending the day with pride in those small, quiet, self-honoring victories, not with pressure.
Yeah. And this whole deep dive, really, it's not just about productivity in the usual sense, is it?
Not at all. It's much deeper. It's about cultivating peace, genuine healing from the day's stresses, and fostering real, sustainable personal growth.
And for those listening who are actively learning English, remember, evenings can be this perfect, calm, receptive time for practice.
Absolutely. Low pressure, consistent effort. Just like absorbing the ideas from this deep dive, even a few minutes each night helps your brain soak up vocabulary, grammar more naturally.
Builds progress gently over time.
For sure.
So, as you consider all these powerful, actionable insights we've discussed, we want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
If your evenings truly are where your future is built, that unique time you fully control to shape the person you want to become, what single intentional change will you commit to making tonight to lay the very first brick for the future you envision?
One brick. Tonight.
Yeah.
Powerful.
That's all for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.